What's going on, college football fans? Gamecock Chuck here doing a Duke's Mayo Bowl preview and prediction video. Hey, before I get any further into this video, like my video by smashing that thumbs up. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to my channel if you ain't already subscribed. Hit the notification button. That way you get notified if you do subscribe. And drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of my videos, my content. Give me a score prediction. Let me know what you think of how this game is going to play out. And also share my video. If you know any college football fans out there, Gamecocks, Tar Heels, whatever the case may be, send them my way, tune them into my content, and encourage them to subscribe to my channel and help my channel grow. For all you guys out there that are subscribed to my channel, I appreciate everything you guys do and appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and watching my videos and commenting and everything. I really do appreciate everything you guys do. Let's go ahead and jump into this matchup. When I look at this matchup, this is two teams that, to begin the season, were on opposite ends of the spectrum, in my opinion. South Carolina was projected to win no more than 3 to 4 games, according to Vegas and all the talking heads out there. But Coach Shane Beamer, in his first year, came in and said, no, we're going to win now, and we're not taking anything less. And he managed to put together a 6-6 season. Not a stellar season, but from what everybody projected us, we managed to make it to 6 wins and get bowl eligible. And that's not where South Carolina really wants to be, but that's where we are right now. So kudos to him and his staff for getting us, bowl eligible in year 1 under him. So we're going to take it how it is, and we're going to continue to grow and get better as the seasons progress next year and going forward. Now, when you look at North Carolina, they were on the opposite end of that spectrum. The year before, they come off of going into this year, they come off of a 10-win season, and they started the season in the preseason ranking at number 9, I believe it was. And, after their first game, when they lost to Virginia Tech, it seemed like it just, this snowballed, and they just started going downhill fast, Mac Brown and his staff, they had to replace 2 running backs, but they were returning a solid and capable quarterback in Sam Howell. And I think just with the lack of experience on the offensive line, the lack of experience they had that left the year before, I think they kind of hurt them, and they just never recovered after that Virginia Tech loss. And they finished the season 6-6, a very disappointing 6-6 for Mac Brown. But it is what it is, and they're going to come to this bowl game hungry, and they're going to be wanting to beat South Carolina, just like any team going into a bowl game would want to do. North Carolina, as according to the ESPN and all the Vegas odds and stuff, right now North Carolina is a 10-point favorite. So they're giving up 10 to the Gamecocks. So if you'll bet in person, do whatever you want with that. According to the ESPN FPI, North Carolina has a 70% chance of winning this game. And just by looking at paper and some of the opt-outs and the roster difference, the talent level, you can actually see why Vegas, why ESPN thinks that North Carolina should be favored that high. When I look at the defenses here, North Carolina, they give up 408 yards per game. 238 of it's through the air, 170 of it's on the ground. South Carolina, when I compare it, they give up 358 yards per game, 179 yards through the air, and 179 on the ground. So if you look at these two defenses, both of them give up a tremendous amount of yards on the ground. They're not a very good run-stop defense. But the edge, if you're going to look at an edge in this, the edge has to go to South Carolina in the passing defense. We have been able to not give up as many explosive plays as North Carolina has. We're leading that category there, but we are subject to give up big plays. As we've seen how the season went. So both of these teams are struggling right now on defense and trying to find an identity and trying to trying to lock down the other team. So one thing that's going to hurt South Carolina this game is a couple of opt-outs on the defensive side of the ball. Our top defensive player, J.J. Inigbare, he opted out to get ready for the NFL draft. I don't think in our secondary, I don't think any of them guys have opted out. I'd have to do a little more research, but I think all of them's going to be playing. Jalen Foster at one time led the country in interceptions. He should be back there, so hopefully he can get on North Carolina's leading receiver and lock him down, and hopefully don't give up a lot of big plays on defense. Offensively, when we look at these two teams, North Carolina's a very explosive team on offense, 480 yards per game, while South Carolina has been pretty stagnant, abysmal. I don't really know how to explain it. They haven't wowed anybody with any offense this year. They averaging only 320 yards per game, so it's not like South Carolina's going to get out there and score a whole lot of points. I think they only average scoring like 21 points a game, somewhere around that area. It's like 21 points a game is what they average per game. So it's going to be a tough task, in my opinion, for South Carolina to, put up a lot of points in this game. Going back to the offensive side of the board, Sam Howell, the quarterback for NC for North Carolina, is coming into this game. 205 completions out of 327 attempts on the year, 2,851 yards, 23 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Very capable quarterback that could hurt you both ways. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's had 170 carries, for 825 yards and 11 touchdowns. So he's actually called his own number a lot this year. And I heard on another show earlier that he's been sacked 45 times. So if he wouldn't have been sacked 45 times, he cut them sacks down in half and took off. He'd been over 1,000 yards easily. So, but he is subject to getting sacked, according to the some of the experts that I've heard. As far as a running back for North Carolina, Ty Chandler, he transferred from Tennessee, I believe it was, come over to North Carolina, replacing two good backs that they lost from last year's class, or from last year's team. He has 173 carries, 1,063 yards, and 13 touchdowns. So he's a very, very capable back of breaking big runs, hitting the holes. If we're not disciplined on defense, he can make us pay in a big way. When I look at wide receivers, North Carolina, from all accounts, they have one primary wide receiver they like, and that's Josh Downs. This guy's had 98 receptions for over 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns on the year. So he's their primary go-to threat downfield. So that's something that our secondary, Cam Smith, Jalen Foster, all them guys, Marcellus Dial, whoever's on him, they need to lock him down and don't let him beat us down the field. South Carolina, on the other hand, we're coming into this game with a grad transfer quarterback, Zeb Nolan. He's going to get the start due to Jason Brown hitting the transfer portal and Luke Doty being injured or recovering from a surgery that he had in the season. So it's going to be up to Zeb Nolan to get in there and manage the game and give us an opportunity to win this game. If something happens to him, I guess we'll fall back on the freshman Colton Gauthier, however you say it. We'll fall back on him to come in there. So it's going to be pretty much Zeb and Colton's show, throughout the whole day tomorrow. From a running back room perspective, Zaquandre White, he opted out of this game, and that's a whole different total video. From my opinion, that's something that I just don't understand. But that's something for another video. But he was our leading rusher, but he opted out. So that leaves the running back room to Kevin Harris, which last year he rushed for over 1,000 yards on the season and one of the top backs in the SEC last year. So if the ball falls in his lap this year for this ball game, along with Juju McDowell and Marshawn Lloyd. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Marshawn Lloyd, it falls in their hands as well. So you got them 3 backs that are very capable of busting off big plays. So we need to make sure we utilize them 3. When it comes to wide receiver, we got a very solid wide receiver and a brand new daddy. Josh Vann, congratulations on being a dad. Ain't nothing in the world like it, my man. But he's coming out there as the leading receiver. Very solid, very capable wide receiver. But we're going to need more than just him to show up. We need EJ to show up. Dak, he needs to have a big game at wide receiver. Whoever the case may be, Nick Muse, from tight end position. We need solid play out there to help Zeb out in this game. But going back to this game, you know, when I look at both teams, this is a game that, like everybody said, South Carolina can win this game. You know, North Carolina does give up a lot of points. They do give up a lot of yards. They're not invincible when it comes to winning this game for South Carolina. You know, I think in order for South Carolina to come out of here with a victory, it's very, very imperative that our defense shows up. Whoever's out there, you know, Jordan Burch, I expect him to play. I expect him to have a good game on the defensive front. All the guys that's out there on defense, they need to lock down. They need to play disciplined football. They need to contain the edge and things like that. On the offensive side of the ball, I think this game needs to be a ground and pound, a clock managing game for Zeb. I think he needs to manage the game great without, you know, turning the ball over. We can't have a whole lot of 3 and outs in this game, in my opinion. I think we need to just feed the rock to Kevin Harris and Marshawn and Juju, things like that, to get this game like at a slow tempo. We don't need this game to be a fast tempo game. We don't need to go out there trying to match scores with UNC. We need to go out there and try to manage the game. And I think that's going to fall in Zeb's hand. I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to just hand the ball off and just let's try to get big plays in the run game. Keep moving the chains. Keep the defense off the field as much as possible. And let's just grind this game out and slow the tempo down. And I think that gives South Carolina the best opportunity to win this game. But as far as North Carolina, you know, they're going to do what they do. You know, Sam Howell, he's going to get out there. He's going to make plays with his arms and his legs. Defensively, I think North Carolina, the way our offense is played, I think North Carolina is basically just going to have to just keep putting pressure on the quarterback, play their assignments on the outside, and I think they'll have success there if South Carolina can't generate anything on the ground. So with that being said, you know, looking at this game and everything, I hate to say it, but I'm picking the Tar Heels in this game with a final score of 37-17. I hope I'm wrong. I will be at the game tomorrow cheering on the Gamecocks, of course. But just by looking at everything, I just can't put much faith in the Gamecocks offense right now to put up enough points to beat the Tar Heels. So with that being said, Gamecock Chuck, I'm out. Go Gamecocks.